On OSRC News at 7, Governor Akeredolu congratulates Ondo NUJ and Ratau new leaderships, calls for further media collaboration with his administration. Ogun State Police Command arrests suspected armed robber at Sangota. Christians observe Palm Sunday globally as Pope Francis calls for an end to war in Ukraine. Good evening and welcome on the news. I am Olatomiwa Donald Falayi. Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has congratulated the Anglican Bishop of Akure Diocese, Right Reverend Simeon Borokini, over his election as the Archbishop of Ondo Ecclesiastical Province. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Richard Olatunde, Governor Akeredolu described Bishop Borokini as a quintessential servant of God whose ministry has spanned over several decades with accompanying progress. The governor noted that Right Reverend Borokini has continued to advance in God's work with alluring candor and inspiring dedication. Governor Akeredolu expressed confidence that the Archbishop will make a visible difference with his wealth of experience in spiritual issues and passion for the development of the state and the country at large. Governor Akeredolu has congratulated members and the new leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ Ondo State Council over the successful conduct of the union's inauguration of the new executive members led by the chairman, Prince Leke Adegbite. The governor also congratulated the Radio, Television, Theatre, Arts Workers Union of Nigeria, Ratau Ondo State Council, over the successful election of the new leadership led by Mr. Kayode Olorunfemi. The governor, in a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Richard Olatunde, also described the media as partner in progress and charged the leadership of NUJ and Ratau in the state to support the government with adequate publicity of its programs and policies to the people of the state, while challenging media professionals in the state to uphold the tenets of and ethics of the profession. Governor Akeredolu noted that journalism is a noble profession. In the meantime, media practitioners have been challenged to do more on the advocacy of gender discrimination in Nigeria. Addressing newsmen in Owerri, the Imo State capital, the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, said journalists as the fourth estate of the realm has a role to play in achieving egalitarian society. Omorion Lakungbiji has details.
Advocating for gender equality has been top priority for the wife of Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu. This time, she took the advocacy to media practitioners in Imo State, emphasizing the need to collaborate with her to fight for the cause. According to Mrs. Anyanwu Akeredolu, the Nigerian system over the years has not given room for women to maximize their potentials. She stressed the need to provide the female gender with opportunities that will empower them to make immense contributions that will have lasting socioeconomic implications.
Deep-seated interest in what is happening in my community. So that brings to this aspect. As I visit every Christmas, I began, you can imagine, since 1980, I began to note the slow pace at human development, infrastructure development, which are almost non-existent. A man can start it, although you people have not been doing it, then a woman can step into the arena and start this conversation.
She encouraged women to give support to those vying for political positions for the good of the land, spotlighting the role of the media in this regard.
Leadership is not gender specific. Leadership is neutral. A woman can lead, a man can also lead. If a woman has superior argument, listen to her. What is happening in my community, we need to look into it. It's not right or it's not proper. It's leading us to nowhere. And we all sit down and see how we can provide solutions. We'll make suggestions. Two heads are better than one.
Chairman, Imo Correspondent Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Chris Njoku, lauded the initiative and promised the support of members towards promoting gender equality and ensuring the progress of the nation. Omoriola Humbiji, Osrc News.
Christians across Nigeria and the world today marked the Palm Sunday, signaling the beginning of the Holy Week. The day symbolizes the entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem, where he triumphantly rode on a donkey 1 week before his resurrection. The event is recounted in each of the four canonical Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Many Christian faithful made small crosses from palms to celebrate the day, and some churches also held processions, reenacting Christ's entry into Jerusalem. Palm Sunday is the last week of the Lent season that precedes Easter. Meanwhile, Pope Francis in his Palm Sunday message has called for an Easter truce in Ukraine to pave the way for peace through real negotiations. During the public mass at St. Peter's Square, the pontiff denounced a war where defenseless civilians suffered heinous massacre and atrocious cruelty. Francis on Wednesday had already condemned the targeting of civilians in Ukraine, calling the discovery of bodies in Bucha near Kiev a massacre and embracing a Ukrainian flag from the martyred town. He has also expressed his willingness to contribute to halting the fighting in Ukraine and said he would be ready to travel to Kiev. The Ogun State Police Command has arrested a suspected armed robber with a locally made pistol at the Jojo area of Sangota. Police Public Relations Officer Abimbola Oyeyemi, who disclosed the arrest in a statement on Sunday, said the suspect Isikilu Moses was nabbed on Friday while carrying out a robbery operation in the area. Aside from the locally made pistol, police operatives also recovered 2 mobile phones belonging to their victims. This is even as the Commissioner of Police, Larry Bankole, ordered the immediate transfer of the suspect to the State Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department for discreet investigation. The police commissioner also ordered a massive manhunt for the remaining members of the gang with a view of bringing them to justice. Meanwhile, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has arraigned 40-year-old Joe Kwaso for allegedly impersonating a former primate of the Anglican Communion, Nicholas Oko, and 3 others. The accused persons were charged to the Federal Capital Territory High Court 32, Akwa Abuja, for allegedly defrauding some prominent and influential Nigerians of over 30 million naira. Other members of the cybercrime syndicate include Etobi Aliyu, Abdulrahman Muazu, and Usman Abdulaziz. In the charge brought before Justice Oba, the ICPC accused the 4 suspects of impersonating Oko by faking his Facebook account bearing his picture and name and using the same account to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has intercepted over 100 parcels of cocaine concealed in children's duvet at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi, who confirmed the seizure via a statement on Sunday, said the illicit drug was brought into the country by a 52-year-old Brazilian returnee, Akundriwa Ilari Uchena, who hails from Oru East local government area of Imo State. Uchena was arrested on Saturday at the de-arrival hall of the Lagos airport upon his return from Sao Paulo, Brazil, via Doha aboard a Qatar airline flight, while the parcels of the Class A drug were recovered from his only check-in bag. You watch Osrc News at 7. We'll bring more stories after this break.
After a fruitful Ramadan day, replenish your body with the right nutrients.
www.osrc.ng. Follow us on Facebook, Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel. Socio-economic development is to be replicated today. Then training of youth and women in modern food production is non-negotiable. The State Project Coordinator of International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, Mr. Lawale Ademola, Niger Delta Life ND, said enthusiasm on the part of farmers must be backed by fund and technology to achieve desired results. OSRC's Adeleye Ologunagba was at the media rally, and the report is presented from a studio.
The IFAD Live ND started in February 2019 as an intervention project aimed at empowering people at the grassroots in 9 Niger Delta states, with special focus on job creation area, Ilaje, Eseodo, and Ileoluji-Okegbo, with 10 communities benefiting directly in each council area.
Second year into the project.
As media part not only boosted food security, but they equally transformed the lives of individuals and families through agriculture as well as agro-allied engagements, while noting that youth should be male and female. IFAD is laying emphasis on bringing inclusion of women folk into the project, because they see them most vulnerable in the setting. He therefore appeals to the media to further support the dream of national citizens to embrace agriculture.
We have 20 trustees, and this year we are bringing in and empowering 900 youth. For us to achieve better publicity, we must make people understand nitty-gritty about IFAD Life Engine.
Information managers at the gathering harped on improved cordial relations between IFAD and the media in a world driven by information.
We should use the instrumentality of media broadcast. The newspapers, the radio stations, television stations, and all of that. To keep selling things that you do.
It will enable all the women and the youth that have interest in agriculture to be part of the project.
It's a huge step in the right direction because it makes information managers to be more at what the project stands for and what the people, especially at the grassroots, start to benefit from it.
It's the consensus of participants that the widening gap between policymakers and populace must be bridged so that Nigerians can see the emerging opportunities in agriculture as an abandoned gold mine.
Ero Festival is one of the most colorful festivals celebrated in Ute, in Ose local government area of Ondo State. It comes with spectacular rites and festivities that thrill the participants and visitors. Our correspondent Kunle Ari reports that the festival is mainly aimed at celebrating old age and thanksgiving for living a worthy life. The report.
Ero Festival comes with cultural pride of having attained the age of 70 years on earth, with contributions to the well-being of one's community in years past to show. It is a declaration that one has attained the status of a respected elder in Ute community. Ero Festival is observed every 5 years, a sign of respect and honor. Ero Grade is a stage of building the town and contributing one's quota to its development.
It's a way of graduating from peer groups. We start from one peer.
Neha and Abusarumi.
It is one in town. We do it every 5 years. It is our turn. We call them Egbeoke and Egbesale. We are doing it together. It will be 5 years time before another thing will happen.
Thanked God and promised the adversary rules with a sense of commitment.
It's been a very
Galba axis of Akure, the Ondo State capital, caused by indiscriminate display of goods on roadsides and walkways. The situation was further compounded by indiscriminate crossing on either side of the road, which naturally forced motorists to stop for seconds or minutes while the crossing lasted. Efforts to ease the traffic flow necessitated placement of the iron median railings with concrete jerseys from the popular Old Grag to Eso to put a stop to indiscriminate crossing in this axis.
One of the strategies employed by the Ondo State government to control traffic in this heart of Accra, the Ondo State capital, is the enforcement of the use of this pedestrian bridge. But what we see here now is that some traders have taken over the bridge, selling the bridge from serving the actual purpose it is meant to serve.
Before government enforced the compulsory use of the bridge, it was a comfortable abode for destitute. But now
started selling here. They are beggars initially, but and nobody wants to collect taxes here. They should be the one to effect that change.
Activities of the traders who willfully display their wares here are robbing the facility of its original purpose, a clear indication that something urgent must be done.
The way they are blocking this thing is even causing hold up for people that are passing, so it's not even okay at all. So they should find means for them, or maybe they should remove them from there, or I don't know, put them elsewhere. At least here is filled up with load, and it's not supposed to be like that.
ẹsẹ̀ náà ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún kò dẹ̀ dá bá ṣe ń ṣe bẹ̀ yẹn tó wọ́n bà gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn jẹ́ wọ́n á tọ̀ síbẹ̀ wọ́n á jáwó gan níbẹ̀ lọ́sàn-án ẹni tó bá ṣọ́ra gan wọ́n rẹ̀dà ti tìyàn sílẹ̀ tó kò dẹ̀ dá wáṣọ lọ́n sí kẹ́lẹ́ wọn jáde níbẹ̀ kò dá bá ṣe dọ̀tí bẹ̀ yẹn.
The facility was built primarily for pedestrian crossing. The buying and selling taking place on the bridge has clearly shown the attitude of Nigerians to public infrastructure. This, of course, is an urgent message for relevant authorities to move in and drive out those trading here for the facility to fully serve its original intention. Richard Ilesomi, Osrc News.
With no end in sight to the current astronomical hike in the price of automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel, manufacturers and economic watchers are forecast a looming spike in an unemployment rate in Nigeria. The attendant implication is also projected to increase the level of insecurity and saturation of markets with substandard products, which would negatively affect the value of money for product and services rendered. For all of these negatives not to take effect on the current economy, experts charge government to take urgent action to end the problem. Zahid Aribisala has more.
Virtually every facet of Nigeria's economy is directly or indirectly tied to the use of automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel. Insufficient power generation and supply makes it a no-brainer for businesses, particularly those with high electricity demand, to resort to diesel-powered generators. Manufacturers of consumable and non-consumable items, as well as service providers ranging from banks, hospitals, hotels, and media stations rely almost solely on these means of power supply. But the situation has not been palatable at this time, as price of diesel, which closed the year 2021 at under 300 naira per litre, is currently sold between 700 naira to 800 naira per litre. For instance, a media outfit that runs a television and radio station for 18 hours in a day at the rate of 50 litres per hour all days of the week will have to expend over 18 million naira per week due to the hike. The managing director of a cable manufacturing company in Akure and chairman Akure Chamber of Commerce, Mines and Industry, ASIMA, Emmanuel Adewumi, noted that the situation poses grave danger to the economy as businesses now have to decide between minimal profit and reduction in production hour.
Industries like hotels or that is like that, they don't have regular power supply. And when they fire their diesel, you know what it's going to be. And if they transfer this cost of diesel to the customers will run away. You know, put your customers in the dark in the hotel. You must continuously fire your diesel. So also come into industries. You see what the effect is, just unimaginable, very terrible one. And for company that does not want to cheat the customer, You just have to be very, very careful with what is happening.
For another business owner in the housing sector, the current hike has altered production of blocks in his factory with an attendant increase in the price of sand and granite.
There was a contract given to us when diesel was at 320 naira per litre, and today diesel pump price is 870 naira. We can't continue it because the customer is not ready to do variation, and we cannot continue to run the production on that high price.
For economic watchers like Lawrence Adobiaru, the implication, among other things, may likely lead to a surge in job loss and invariably posing increased security threats.
Definitely, their sales will go down, and I won't be surprised if the situation continues that many of the companies may not be able to cope with their human resources. And simply put, it will lead to rationalization of employees, which will now worsen the already worsening situation because it will create more security problem, more than what we are in now.
Telecommunication providers in Nigeria have said the rising cost of diesel has impacted negatively on their operational cost and that they are set to approach the federal government for special interventions, just as Manufacturers Association of Nigeria have demanded quick solution to the issue. But how soon the intervention will arrive, Nigerians can only hope. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
In the news, let's take another look at some highlight stories. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has congratulated the Ondo State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists (NUJ) and the state chapter of Retau on the election and inauguration of new leaders. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Richard Olatunde,